Hey guys, so a lot of people have been making videos about a possible bonus fighter for Smash, and whether it be Papagenos or Aaron Nitmar, a lot of people have been talking about it, and I remember seeing this before it was on the channels. A lot of people explaining the theory to me, and it has some credibility to it. It makes some sense. I'm not going to go over all the details, but it does make sense that there is a URL code missing between the last character and between a Mii fighter. I feel like if they're going to do another Mii fighter in that position, in that spot, then it would be after the Mii fighter already. It wouldn't be like before the Mii fighter. I feel like because they haven't announced it yet, right? So if they're going to announce a bonus thing, I don't think they'd put it before the Mii fighter unless it is explicitly a character. In this case, it actually makes the most sense to jump the gun and say, okay, it's probably a bonus character. The only thing against this theory is the idea that, well, it doesn't have to be a character, it can be anything. I mean, it's just some random typo on some random website. But keep in mind, the only real credible leaks we've had besides like days before E3, now if it's days before E3, it makes sense why someone could get their hands on some information. But when it comes to other leaks, most of them just are a bunch of shit, and they always turn out to be fake. Like, they're never true, except Vergibin. But again, that's like, someone may have had information about the game before it was released versus DLC, where it's very, very hush hush, and I don't understand. I don't think anyone's ever got it right besides E3, except for Nintendo, who decides to accidentally leak things. There was the Bloody Tears leak; they accidentally released a song too early, and there was the SNK leak. No one thought they were going to put an SNK character in. No one thought it would be Terry, and then the leak turned out to be real when Terry was put in the game. So sometimes Nintendo actually leaks things themselves, and that's kind of a big deal to note here. Now, this doesn't mean that this is a leak for sure, but it does mean there is a bit of credibility here. This is actually a potential leak. Now, I'm not saying put all your stock in this, but let's try to be reasonable here. What this could possibly mean? Now, what I don't think it means is there's a surprise character in Pass 2 that you just get for free if you bought Pass 2 or something like that, because the money adds up to be where like the character shouldn't really like be free or anything. Like when it comes to people buying things, you'd expect them to like be honest about what you're buying. If they say you're gonna buy 6 characters, obviously if they have an extra character, no one's gonna bitch about that. But the fact of the matter is, when they say 6 characters, that shouldn't mean 6 characters, shouldn't mean 7 characters. But so it's possible that this will either not be included with Pass 2, and if you think about it, Piranha Plant isn't included in Pass 1, but he is included like in the URL, the way the website works. He is there right before Joker in the number pattern. So there is a precedent here that if it's a character, it could, even if it has nothing to do with Fighter Pass 2, it could still be there at the end after the last character in Pass 2, because Piranha Plant works that same way, right before Joker in the URLs. So it's possible that this character is just a straight up bonus character who has nothing to do with Pass 2. And if that's the case, I really think it'll be a wild card fan favorite character. I've been saying for a while, Waluigi literally has a chance of being a character. I think at this point, with Fighter Pass Season 2, or just Fighter Pass 2, we're going to call it, a lot of rules and expectations have been shattered. Completely shattered. Right off the bat, we start off with spirits don't deconfirm characters anymore. Season 2, the rules are fucking different, baby. And then you go on to Minecraft, which wasn't like, that broke the internet, but it wasn't like, it didn't break any rules of Smash. It's just that, holy shit, like the fact that it was even put in the game at all was mind-breaking, mind-shattering. Then you have Sephiroth, who is the first ever second character from the same IP that's a third-party property. And he's a boss villain character. He's not even, like, it was just out of nowhere, but in a lot of ways, it just makes so much sense. And I famously had a video where I said it makes sense to put Sephiroth in because there's not a bunch of songs from Final Fantasy VII. There's no spirits from Final Fantasy VII. I straight up said there is a path for Sephiroth if they choose to take it. They chose to take it. I'm glad they did, because we really needed that Final Fantasy VII content in Smash. It's so good that I don't have to say Cloud just doesn't have like shit in Smash. Like literally, it bugged me. I thought about it all the time, and it always bugged me. And then when it comes to Pyra and Mythra, I always want to call them Mythra and Pyra because everyone starts with Mythra first. But yeah, when it comes to Pyra and Mithra, they didn't really shatter the mold other than the fact that they're two characters in one, which typically DLC characters have DLC bullshit. Everyone jokes about this. But really, even the characters in Smash Ultimate, even the characters in Smash 4 a lot of the times always feature a brand new gimmick. That seems to be the way that Sakurai has been interpreting the game lately. Ever since Smash 4, if he puts a character in, he wants to give them a new interesting gimmick that only they have. Sometimes it's actually very fitting of the character with Cloud and his limit breaks. Even though it doesn't really work the same way as Final Fantasy VII, the execution of just having a limit bar, now that part is similar. So he kind of translated that to work in a fighting game, and it's pretty cool. When it comes to Joker having a similar mechanic, it makes no sense at all. It literally just makes no sense at all, and it's pretty much just a better version of Limit anyway. It doesn't really add up to how Joker fights in Smash, but like I said, I just don't think Sakurai cares. I think Sakurai just wants characters to have interesting and unique mechanics that are available only to them. So when it comes to this final bonus character, I think the most likely pick would be Waluigi, mostly because this would be a character that completely destroys assist trophies can't be DLC. Now, obviously, we all know assist trophies can be characters, but typically they're not a character in the same game that they're an assist trophy. In Brawl, Little Mac was famously an assist trophy, and now he's a character. But not in Brawl. He was a character in Smash 4, and the Little Mac assist trophy is gone now. Same thing with Isabelle and Dark Samus. They were both in Smash 4 as assist trophies. They're not assist trophies anymore. Now they're characters. But again, in the sequel game. So the chance of Waluigi becoming playable, it always seemed like it would have to wait for the next game. And honestly, I was shocked when they added Daisy in and not Waluigi. Now, it makes sense because Daisy is an Echo Fighter. And if Echo Fighters didn't exist, we would not have Daisy. Daisy would not be playable. And yeah, so we have Daisy. We don't have Waluigi. It feels wrong. I really wish they would just both join at the same time. Because it's never that I think that we should... It sucks to think it has to be one or the other, because I know people want Daisy, and I know there was Daisy fans who wanted her for a while anyway. But the Waluigi fans it's such a loud fan base. It would just feel like it would be perfect to wrap up the whole game with Waluigi. I feel like he's the most likely character. You don't need to add in a new stage. You don't need to add in any new music, or you don't have to add in any new spirits. Just like how Piranha Plant doesn't have a Spirit Board event, where in like the DLC Spirit Board, and it really separates him from Joker. Just don't give him anything. Just put him in the game and call it a fucking day. That's all you got to do. However, it would be kind of strange if both bonus fighters were from Mario, but it just makes the absolute most sense. It really needs to be Waluigi. If it's anyone else, I would be very shocked. However, I think that Waluigi is not the most I don't think it's the idea that makes the most sense. I think there's another character that beats out Waluigi as far as characters that make more sense to be in Smash. Now, what is this thing? Now, the thing is, if it's a bonus character, I already said it has to be Waluigi if it's a bonus character. But if it's not what we're thinking, if it's actually something that might be even more likely, then it could be someone else. So what I'm thinking could happen is the first DLC Echo Fighter. Now, we haven't had an Echo Fighter since the base game, but what I'm not saying is, oh, they're going to do Shadow now. Oh, they're going to do Miss Pac-Man now. Oh, they're going to do... No. I'm not saying an Echo Fighter for a character already in the game. A long time ago, I said if they're going to do another Echo Fighter, it will probably be for a DLC character that is like just announced. They'll probably come out together. My example was for Resident Evil. They could put Leon and Jill Valentine out at the same time and have them be Echo Fighters of each other and have them play basically the same but kind of slightly different. This would be a Resident Evil fan's biggest dream come true, and when it comes to Resident Evil, I think both Leon and Jill have completely earned their right to be in Super Smash Bros. I think if we had any survival horror character, it should be Resident Evil. In fact, the fact that Leon or Jill is not in Smash actually baffles me. It blows my mind. Of course, they're in the game as spirits, but they're not really in the game in a playable function. And to me, it's just like, wow, you're not going to include Resident Evil. That's just, again, that just baffles the mind. But either way, the fact of the matter is that if we did get an Echo Fighter, it would be alongside a DLC character announced at the same time. Think of like Simon and Richter. That to me makes the most sense to include the Echo Fighter alongside a character. But when it comes to a character, like who it would be, this is where I say I don't think it's going to be Crash and Coco. I think if they do Crash, they can just do Crash. In fact, if you do Coco, it might even be better off just making her an alternate, like an alt skin instead of being an Echo Fighter. There's really no reason to include Coco at all. Like she's kind of in, yeah, she's in the new Crash games, but that was a new thing for both the Insane Trilogy and Crash 4. It's not really a part of Crash's legacy. Usually when you play as Coco, it's like only in Crash 3, I believe. I don't remember, but when you play as Coco, you're doing like mini game stuff. So to me, when I think of Crash and Crash's legacy, I just think Crash by himself. Now I know a lot of people say, well, Coco could potentially be an Echo Fighter, but that doesn't mean that they're going to always go for that. Like I said, it's a relatively new thing. So I don't know. To me, it just seems like just because that would better represent Crash doesn't mean Crash deserves two characters. Like, I don't think so. So to me, I just think it makes more sense to just include Crash by himself. If he's included at all, there's a chance he won't even be included. I think it would make a lot of sense, and I think it would be really cool, but it's not all about what I think. Now, I just think that with E3 coming around, they need to have another huge reveal character. They already used one up with Sephiroth, and they also already had Steve, which makes me think, okay, this last E3 character doesn't need to be the biggest banger. It doesn't have to be bigger than Steve. It doesn't have to be bigger than Sephiroth. But what it does have to be is on that level of this is hype shit. This is exciting. So I'm thinking the next character will, have to be someone really cool, and that's where Crash could come in, and then the final character could be the one that features the Echo Fighter. It doesn't have to be as huge. I'm not saying it's not Phantasy Star, but I am saying it's not Phantasy Star. But if they did Phantasy Star, they could do an Echo Fighter for another character from Phantasy Star Online 1 or something. It doesn't have to be like, whatever. If they do Phantasy Star Online, you could easily do Echo Fighters. But even then, that's really weird. To include Phantasy Star, I just don't see how Phantasy Star would work here. And I just don't think they're going to put an MMO character. I think that would just be way too controversial. And I just don't know if Smash is ready for that yet, but maybe it is. We are 80 characters in, so. But what I will say, because also I just don't care because it's a leak, and I don't think any of these leaks are real. Honestly, I just don't care. I don't care about any of the evidence you show me. I don't care. They're never real. The only time they're real is when there's like a real reason for why this person would have this information. And it's not like he revealed Pyra and Mithra, so I don't know why anyone thinks he's like that much of a sage when it comes to reveals. Anywho, when it comes to characters with Echo Fighters, the character I think is the most likely right now is probably Lloyd and Yuri. Because the thing is about Lloyd and Yuri is that Yuri is the protagonist of the Tales game that's Tales of Vesperia. And I've played that game. He fights really nothing like Lloyd at all. Lloyd fights with 2 swords, and Yuri fights with 1. And like I said, the way they actually fight. Now, I played some Tales of Vesperia, but I didn't really get far into it. What I mostly played was Project Crosszone and Project Crosszone 2. Both featured Yuri from Tales of Vesperia. And I got a feel for Yuri and his character from there. And some of the moves he did in Project Crosszone, I definitely recognized in Tales of Vesperia when I did play it. And so I think that Yuri and Lloyd fight nothing alike at all. I have played Tales of Symphonia. I haven't beat any Tales of game, but I've played multiple, including Tales of Fantasia on Super Nintendo, which didn't release in America. So don't call me a fake fan, okay? I'm just saying, I am aware of Tales of games, and I think if you're going to introduce them, it wouldn't work the same way as Hero. Hero is sort of like Chrom and Marth. Like, they could have made Marth just one character that has like 4 characters built in, but they didn't. They made Marth his own character, and they made everyone else their own characters. And that's because Nintendo is the company that makes this game, and this is all first-party characters, so it makes sense. And Hero gets all one character, but that's because the Hero characters really wouldn't play unique at all. So, I mean, some of them don't even have like animations really. Anyway, when it comes to Lloyd and Yuri, I don't think they play similarly enough. I think that it makes more sense that I think when it comes to a character with an Echo, these two make the most sense to add into the game. I think these two would absolutely be like the most logical choice for a character featuring an Echo. Because when I think of Ryu Hayabusa, there's no Echo that comes to mind. When I think of any of these other choices, unless we're talking about Leon and Jill, like I used to, then there is no other character. However, I just don't think Leon and Jill have a chance, considering there's already Resident Evil spirits in the game, and if they came out in the base game, that would be one thing, because that's how Min Min worked. Min Min destroyed that theory, but these spirits came out at the end of Fighter Pass 1, when Fighter Pass 2 was most likely already chosen. To me, I think that means that they passed on Resident Evil for Fighter Pass 2. I think the reason why they released Resident Evil Spirits is because they looked at Fighter Pass 2 and said, yeah, we're not going to do a Resident Evil character. And they said, let's not hold off. Let's just put it in the game. So that's why I think we got Resident Evil Spirits when we did. And so to me, it just means, no, we're probably not getting Leon and Jill, even though, could you imagine Jill with half her colors, her Resident Evil 3 costume, and half her colors, her Resident Evil 1 costume? Leon as a secondary character, and Leon and Jill could fight somewhat similarly. They both use lots of kicks and would have like dive attacks and stuff, but you could make their stats different. Jill a little faster, Leon a little stronger, or anything like that. Or you could give them just different B attacks, like different guns that do different things, have different properties, that do different effects of damage, and make their stats mostly the same still. I mean, there's lots of opportunity with a character like Jill and Leon as playable characters. So what I would love is if they included them and had them included as Echo Fighters, and then half of it would be for Leon, it'd be half his costumes are from Resident Evil 2 and half his costumes are from Resident Evil 4. I mean, I think the ideas make themselves. It's so perfect for Smash. But I already said I think Resident Evil is not getting a playable character, even though that would make me the most hype and most happy. The only character that would make me more hype than Leon would be Sora. No one else. Even I think I'd rather have Leon even over Master Chief. I'm sorry. And Jill's. I mean, I love Jill too. Like I don't know who my favorite Resident Evil character is because I love both of them. So I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But I am thinking right now, if it's not Waluigi, and Waluigi's not a bonus fighter, then the last character has an Echo Fighter, and it's probably a Tales of character. Like I said, I can't think of any other character that comes with a Echo that would make that much sense. So when we look at all the remaining potential characters, it's like I don't know who's there. Just to go over a few options to make this video a little bit more exciting. 2B, possibly. You could put in 9S, you could put in A2. I've always thought they put 2B in, they could just make A2 a part of her costumes. However, I don't think 2B is getting in. Of course, with Nier Replica, or Replicant, I think it's called, just coming out, like, maybe, but, like, in the reality, like, I don't think they do that. And again, they could make that an Echo Fighter, like have 9S be the Echo Fighter. But again, it would be kind of overkill because, again, they could just make 2B like that with a 9S alt. Let's see here. Chun-Li, no, because, I mean, I don't think they're going to do a bonus fighter that like Chun-Li. Neither for Eggman. I don't think it's going to be a Sonic or a character. I don't think it's going to be third party at all. I think it's going to be, unless it's an Echo Fighter. If it's a bonus fighter, it's going to be Waluigi. In my tier list, I have it written as if they break the rules, it's for him. Doomslayer, no, they wouldn't do an Echo Fighter for Doomslayer. Dante, they really can't. Nero just wouldn't really make sense, and Virgil would be way off. Now, Scorpion, I could see them doing Scorpion. I could see them doing Scorpion and Sub-Zero as Echo Fighters. The problem is that the way they would fight would have to be identical, and then they'd have to have like 3 moves different. Like their B attacks would have to be straight up different from each other. Like Scorpion would have to have Spear, Sub-Zero would have to have the Freeze move, and then I don't know what their up Bs and shit would be. Now their melee attacks could be completely identical, but the reality is if they're going to put in Scorpion, like I feel like they could just do that. They don't need an Echo Fighter. But if they did the bonus fighter thing where Scorpion and Sub-Zero come out at the same time, maybe it doesn't need to be Echo Fighters. Maybe the final character for pack 11 and 12 or whatever would just be Scorpion and Sub-Zero together at the same time. I mean, that would be a dream come true. That would make me cry tears of happiness. However, no, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they'd break the rules of Smash for like a character like that, you know? They could have done that with Ryu and Ken. They chose not to. I think what they would rather do is just do Scorpion straight up by himself. So yeah, as much as it would be amazing to see Scorpion and Sub-Zero together, I just don't think they're gonna do that. So nah. When it comes, yeah, I have Kiryu up here. Obviously, there's plenty of characters they could do from Yakuza as an Echo Fighter, but I just don't think we need Echo Fighters from Yakuza. They could probably just do one character. And Ryu Hayabusa, again, no Echo. Pokemon, you could possibly do an Echo, but I'm actually surprised there's no Echoes in Pokemon already, but there is Pichu as a semi-clone. But yeah, and then besides that, that's everyone else are characters that I just don't think have a chance at all of getting in, so I'm not even going to go over them. So yeah, the reality is that when I think about it, it's got to be Lloyd and Yuri if they're doing the Echo Fire thing. So I would say either Lloyd and Yuri or Waluigi. Completely honest, I'm leaning on Waluigi. I'm leaning on Waluigi, but I don't know, man. If Scorpion Sub-Zero announced the same time, I will cry. I will cry because that would be so fucking cool. But the reality is, it's probably going to be Waluigi as a bonus fighter that maybe is just free for everyone, or maybe he's just, you have to pay extra no matter what, because I don't think that he'd be included with Pass 2. Maybe they'll do a special bonus where if you pay for Waluigi by himself, he does come with a stage or something. I don't know, but he doesn't come with a spirit board. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. But, and that's why to me, this points more credibility at Lloyd, and it points more credibility at Waluigi. Obviously, we'll see at E3 if they announce 2 characters. Maybe they'll announce 3 characters. But if they only announce 1 character, then those Mii costumes are really going to make or break. If they don't have Lloyd as a Mii costume, then Lloyd is on watch. Like, Lloyd is a very high possibility. However, there's also still a high chance that the final remaining Mii costume will be released with the final character. That's not out of the realm of possibility. It's the final remaining Mii costume. Why not release it with the final character? And if the final character has a sword, like Ryu Hayabusa, then releasing Lloyd then would make perfect sense. And if you put Ryu Hayabusa or 2B or someone else with a sword as the final character, even Dante or Scorpion or something, you could put Lloyd as right there, and then I would say, let's see if they do a bonus character with Waluigi. However, I feel like you can't announce Waluigi like a bonus character without I feel like you can't just announce the final character and say, okay, now we're done, and then do a bonus character later. The bonus character's got to be announced at the end, which is why E3 might potentially be the end where they announce the next 3 characters for Smash straight up. So we'll find out here. We'll find out soon. But that's just what I'm thinking for this bonus character theory. We still don't know if it's even real. It might not even happen. We'll just have to see, and it would be exciting and cool if it does happen. Again, right now I'm thinking Waluigi. I'm really thinking Waluigi. I don't think I'm being that ridiculous. Yeah, I think it just actually adds up and makes sense. And then I'm thinking, I don't know, if not him, yeah, Lloyd and Yuri. And Scorpion Sub-Zero would be the best case scenario, but that's not happening. Well, anyway, I'm obviously also Leon and Jill. Please. Okay, no. Man, a stage from Resident Evil would be super cool too. Anyway, it's not happening. My dreams aren't coming true, but hey, I can't complain too much. I did get some characters I really, really wanted in the game, like Sephiroth, like Pyra, Mithra. A lot of characters I really wanted in this game are in the game now, so I really can't complain. This has been a dream come true game for me, and I don't even care who they make the next 2 characters because this has been awesome so far. Hopefully it's Waluigi, that way everyone else's dreams can come true. The only way to, for me, the final characters missing are Sora, Master Chief, and Scorpion, and then this game will be perfect, but I don't think any of those 3 are coming, so... Yeah, let's just ride this out and see what happens. Hopefully, it's a damn good last 2 characters and possibly last 3 characters. All right, clearly I'm just wasting your time at this point. The video's long enough, so I will end it here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.